Computer. All right, welcome everybody this Thursday edition of our community local. I have Tamsie Ray with us today.
Hi.
I'm so excited for her to be here. I met Tamsie a few years ago. It was at a workout facility. She did morning yoga, and that's when I just fell in love with it, to be honest, was through this lady right here. And so I would just love for you to start out by telling the community who you are and what you do.
Community. I like this. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Tamsie, and I own a yoga studio in Little Falls called Red Door Yoga Plus. I started with my yoga career back in the late 70s, and through the course of my life, it always stayed with me. Eventually had an opportunity to start teaching yoga, become certified. It became more and more a part of my life, and partnered with another woman for this business opportunity in Little Falls. Still continue to dip in and out of the St. Cloud area with teaching. Health and wellness has always been a part of my life. I grew up in a home where my mom was a Jack LaLanne TV watcher. And if any of you are old enough to remember this or Google it, he was like the guy that pulled the tugboat across someplace in the East Coast. But he was very much into, we can take control of our own health and wellness in our own home.
Very cool.
So
when it comes to, health and wellness can be such a broad category. For you personally, what do you like to do for yourself when you're feeling just like life is getting to be a lot? Like, what do you do for your yoga practice, or what do you do for your life to kind of keep you grounded?
Yeah, I like that question because oftentimes if we're in the health and wellness industry, people think, oh, you've really got it together. You know everything, you just go right to it. Everything is Om for you. And it's really not. I mean, we're just all in this together. And I will say, I've just been on a Halo binge where I have found comfort in that little pint of ice cream at 270 calories. But it's about balance. And truly, when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I have to make sure I get enough sleep. Sleep is a big one for me, and it's a big one for our community. Moms, dads, everybody's running around. Nobody's really recognizing that 1 a.m, you should be in bed, especially if you've got a 5 a.m. call. So take that, into account, because when I start feeling really stressed, I'm usually underslept, and I probably haven't had enough water, and sugar has been a little too tapped in for me. My yoga practice, I have to make time for it. Teaching yoga is not a yoga practice. A yoga practice means I spend time on my mat doing the work. I spend time in my meditation. I spend time educating myself, restoring myself. When I am teaching, I am teaching. That is not my practice.
That's a good distinction between the two, because I can see how people would think, it's kind of the same, but just, as a teacher too, I'm different when I'm on, per se, guiding a group through what they need versus what I might need myself. So that's a really good distinction. And I know if you've never done yoga before, one of the things that I love, and I believe it's said at every practice, is like what's on your mat is you either can leave it on your mat or like you're in the present.
Yeah. What happens on your mat is yours. It's not a competition. Everybody's not and that is a safe space. And that's the thing I love about yoga. And in our studio, we have no mirrors, and that's a conscious choice. You just feel your way through the practice. And yeah, I mean, it's human nature. You look and you see, and of course we demo things and we show, but I think that social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yoga has kind of morphed into acrobatics and not a personal spiritual practice that we link our body and our breath to.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because one of the common misconceptions I feel like a lot of people have is I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. And I'm not flexible, and I do yoga and I love yoga. And could you speak to that? hard at all if people say, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible?
I would say, can you breathe? If you can
Yes.
breathe, you can do yoga. I say this all the time.
Absolutely.
Yoga is about the breath, and the body will do what it can do, but it takes practice. And you don't come into your first class and immediately throw a leg behind your head. You don't go into a gym and pick up 700 pounds. Everything is incremental. And if you do the breath, if you sit, you are doing yoga. You can do yoga. There is a gentleman, his last name is Shepherd. He's in the cities. He's paralyzed from the neck down. He's a yoga teacher.
Wow.
So please do not tell me about your inflexibility.
Yes.
It all comes with time and practice.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because another thing that I hear sometimes is, you need to kind of quiet your mind, and that's not like a light switch. That takes practice. And so when you are on your mat and you are trying to, be present, which is something I struggle with, and I feel like a lot of people do, because you're thinking of, when this class is done, I have to pick up this kid or go to the grocery store or whatever. And as you practice that being present, it just flows into all of those other areas of your life, and it doesn't feel so rushed, I feel.
Yep. And
so for people that have a hard time, with the slowing down or with that being present piece, do you have any advice or anything to speak to as far as that goes?
I do. And we just did a workshop at Red Door called Finding Peace in the Pause.
Oh.
And this is about the breath. We're all busy, like you said, going. So if you take an inhale and you hold just for a moment and then you exhale, you buy that little pause of time, and that just slows everything down, as opposed to, and you wait, especially that fight or flight, I got to do something.
Yeah.
And the mind is the biggest thing we can use, and we just sometimes let it go on autopilot. So consciously thinking about, am I in this moment? Like right now, am I in this moment with you and you? Or am I thinking about all those papers on the desk, lunch going on? I'm not fully engaged. By fully engaging in each moment, it makes each moment quality. And then you move on to the next thing. One of the phrases that I like to use as a mantra is, do the next right thing. And so I'm staying in the moment, and then I'm going to do the next right thing. I'm not going to try to cram everything into now, because I can only do really one thing at a time.
Oh, Tamsie, I love that. Oh, I just love that so much. Well done. Okay.
Score for me.
Yeah, right, girls, listen to that. Women, ladies, listen to that, because I think that's so powerful. Just do the one next thing, the one next thing. That's awesome.
And we talk about mindfulness and meditation, and we're so tied to electronics, and we're doing this now on electronics. I would invite you, don't get the app. I know this is going to be a little controversial. Take your phone, set it for a minute, put an alarm on it, sit, close your eyes, and breathe. 3 counts in, 3 counts out. When the alarm goes off, boom, go about your day. Close the visual down. We take so much in through our eyes, and that's a lot of stimulation. Close the eyes, set a timer, and then work your way up. Maybe I'm going to go for 2 minutes. I can sit now, and it's taken time. I can sit 60 minutes and feel like it's just like nothing. I prefer silence at this point. A lot of times I would put on music with no lyrics, because I don't want my mind hooking to the lyrics. And now I don't want my mind hooking to the music.
Sure. I know that sometimes when I'm in yoga too, usually at the beginning, we're invited to set an intention for a practice, which I think for me, that is such an intentional time for whatever my mind has been worrying. And I know when I worry, I just kind of go on cycle. That trust that it's going to be okay is hard for me sometimes. And so I just kind of have that repeat. And then when I'm told, set an intention for your practice, to me, that's almost another time to be like, And I go spiritually and as almost like a prayer, like, okay, God, you know, I've been worried about this all day. Now is your time to take it so that I can feel your peace. And that's where I go with that intention. And it's such a positive part of my day because I feel like, I don't know why I can't do that earlier in the day. I have to be told by somebody else, okay, now you can let it go, you know. But if I started with that advice where you set the timer for a minute and just kind of worked on like, okay, here's my time to let it go. I think that would be a really powerful way of showing up differently and being present differently. So that's awesome.
Yeah. We talk about yoga off the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And really, yoga is not on or off. Yoga is. You breathe with intention. That's yoga. It's a beautiful thing to do. And I really like that, we walk with our practice, no matter where we're at.
Right. Oh, and I love that very much. So you mentioned you had just ended up a session at Red Door. Do you have any events coming up that you'd want to share with anyone or tell anything more about your studio?
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
Come. How's that? We do Self-Care Saturday once a month. We're still planning October Self-Care Saturday. We posted on our website, which is reddooryogastudio.com. And on our Facebook, you can follow us. We're not quite that synced into Instagram. We do a newsletter. You can reach out to me. I can get you on our list. They're usually really short and sweet. But our Self-Care Saturdays have been everything from yoga practice to vibrational sound healing. We did one where we did some meditation, yoga, and made bath salts. And we try to keep them, they're 2 hours tops. They're on a Saturday, low cost. Come be in a supportive community and give yourself just a window of time to nurture yourself.
Oh, I love that. And after this video, I'll go ahead and put the link to everything that I can find, your Facebook page, your website. So if you need any more information, I'm sure she would be happy to reach out and answer any questions. Any other advice that you would give women when it comes to self-care or yoga or any other things that you'd want to share?
As women, we often think we have to do everything, and we set the bar really high, sometimes unrealistically high. I am also a life coach, and so I work with professionals setting goals, expectations, affirmations. And one of the things that my clients really struggle with is notching it down to reality. That taking it down a notch and not saying I want to go from 0 to 100 is not failure. Women tend to beat themselves up. And I would just say, cut yourself some slack. It's, again, we see these all on Facebook. I wish I had a dime for all these wonderful, positive motivation things about it's a process, it's not perfection. And then give me a dime for every woman who reads that and still walks away going, I've got to be perfect. Let yourself have some flexibility. That's the biggest thing. If the cupcakes aren't perfect, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to say no. Set some healthy boundaries. You are not all things to all people. That's, again, we are not avocados. I'm sorry, I love avocados.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. Awesome.
That's my parting. Just really, give yourself breathing room to be in the moment and relax. Some of my best memories with my friends or family are these unplanned moments of doing really nothing but hanging out and laughing.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Well, if you've never done yoga before, but you've always wanted to, or you want to explore more mindfulness and being present, check out Red Door Yoga in some Little Falls, and make sure to ask if you have any questions. So thank you, everyone. We'll be back again next Thursday.
Thank you.